I grew up in a very big family. We've always all been really sporty. What inspired me to get into running was watching my older brother. He ran in the Commonwealth Games, and that was when I was about 10 years old. I joined my athletics club when I was about 11 and did that for a few years, but not really that seriously. Running became serious fairly recently. I started it at an elite level when I was about 23, and I'm 28 now. At 16, I just stopped completely. I lost my interest for a little bit. In my early 20s, I went travelling, and when I came back, I found myself with a slightly different mindset and decided to take it more seriously. For some reason, I was probably a little bit more confident in myself. When I was a kid, I didn't actually enjoy the racing side so much. I used to find it a bit more intimidating. After I got a bit older, I felt like I was doing it for only myself, and I didn't compare myself to others quite as much. My parents have always been very supportive. Growing up, having like an identical twin always brought out like a competitive side of me. We used to have races all the time, just around the garden, always have arguments about who was the winner. My approach to training is just to get it done, as simple as that sounds. You need to trust everything that your coach has set you, so as long as you do that and do everything properly, then you should be confident that you'll do well. The more consistent you are, the better results you'll get.
One of the biggest factors in performance is staying healthy, staying fit, and being consistent with training. When she first came back and decided she wanted to give it a proper go and train properly, in the early years picked up quite a few injuries, so she had periods of weeks or a few months out. In more recent years, we've managed her rehab, her recovery, and all that sort of things much better, so that, you know, for the last 2 years she's pretty much been consistent week on week, month on month, and now that's resulting in better performances and PBs and stuff like that. Actually, sometimes backing off or, you know, taking a couple of easy days when you're feeling tight or tired is going to be much more beneficial in the long run.
With my approach to racing, I've tried to work on staying more relaxed, because I used to get far too stressed before races. If you're too uptight, it almost affects your whole body. I just try and stay as relaxed as possible. It sounds weird, but I try not to think about the race too much just before the race. You've sort of already done all the work, there's nothing left to do. Replaying the race in your mind is almost going to stress you out more. How has my recovery evolved? I've worked on my habits more, just as simple sort of things like just trying to get more sleep, trying to stretch more. So if you sort of implement all those little things into your everyday routine, it doesn't really feel like a big change, if that makes sense.
As an athlete, as you do more training, you get more miles in your legs, then obviously keeping your muscles loose and dealing with any tightness on a regular basis is quite crucial. A tight calf, if it's not dealt with quickly, will become even tighter, and then could end up becoming a torn calf.
When I took up running again, I would never get a sports massage. I started getting sports massage treatments because I had a niggle in my hip. I went to get a massage with Fiona, and she was actually able to pick up what it was straight away. It's more of a relief than anything else, because I thought it was like an injury. If it feels better, then it clarifies that it's probably not a serious problem, it's just that your muscles are overly tight.
It's a case of doing the massage to stay on top of things before anything develops, rather than just going to get a massage when you've got a problem. And I think she's learned that. When you're a younger athlete, there's always a resistance to spend £30-40 every couple of weeks on a massage when you haven't got a problem. So you think, spend that on a new pair of trainers or whatever it might be. It's an investment in your body, and ultimately that results in performance.
I've learned more about my body. I know more about when there's something not quite right. I'm more aware of how to prevent things from getting worse. I probably also know now when to stop. I would sort of run through a niggle thinking that it wasn't a bad pain, whereas now I kind of can easily spot when something's more of a serious problem. To get another GB vest would be amazing. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, and it gave me quite a lot of confidence. Really exciting to get the phone call. They just said, "You've been selected to do the European Team Champs. Would I be available?" I said yes, straight away, and then I got my kit the next week. I had to try it on immediately. just to get the photos and send it up to all my family and stuff. So they were all quite pleased as well, especially my mum. She was really proud.